Series Edition LLC, and a few other companies that we have. One of the things I did with my company, anytime I'm developing any logos or artwork or stuff like that, I like to make sure all my stuff is protected. Everything I have is protected. Everything I have is registered. So if we do happen to come across nonsense such like this, we can take someone to court and clean their clock and win with no problem. The case we have here against Jaime Fernando Gonzalez is pretty much open and shut. He was caught on Wix platform website displaying our logo 3 times in a row with the word scammer, was making statements it was his logo, it belonged to him, and then making another statement by saying, oh, this old thing, which didn't realize if he cracked the book, and he should do that more often, he would realize that a copyright would stand as long as the author is still alive and after the author has passed on up to 70 years. This is where we're actually following some of our other claims here. So we have multiple claims that's being filed against this individual. Pretty much the icing on the cake is what we have from him is cut and dry. We've already sent over the Wix. Right now we are sending over, this is a report we're sending to Wix so we can get them ready, so that way it's fully noted and it's actually logged on that we basically wrote this letter to Wix explaining to them that that is our piece of artwork. We never gave them permission to use it, and in there we gave them a copy of our records and our registration number from the what do you call it, the government, and where we file. This is actually going to Wix right now. This is going to the legal department. So Wix is pretty much, wait for a minute. Yeah, Wix is pretty much been informed that they have an option here. Hold on for a minute, something's playing here in the background. There we go. So he is fully aware that they are fully aware on their end that we have noted and have explained to them before we have to take them to court that what's going to happen. It's actually in the statement. This is what my attorneys are telling me to do. Write this all in a statement, let them know what's going on, what's going to happen if they basically don't remove the platform, because he did use their platform to commit the crime which he just committed. So right now we're going through this. We have to file our file through here. Already been down to City Hall already. I've already filed another charge against them for basically small claims court for the batch number, for tampering with the batch number, slandering a company and so forth. That's already been filed already today. This is the next stage we're going through for the copyrights right here. So this is what my attorneys advised me to go in and fill these forms on here, which I'm doing this day as to submit everything we have from there. Also too, we're submitting our documents that his account is under investigation through their platform, through Wix, for basically committing copyright infringements against our company. So the thing about this is, go over here real quick, this is the information that I'm pulling up that I need to know when I go to court, because I like, even though my attorneys are taking care of this, I like to know as much as possible when I'm going through all of this. So there are 2 ways we can go about this. If we take them to civil court, it is going to be brutal. I still try at the end of the day to try to even though I like to, when I say at the end of the day, because people take me off when someone to clean their clock and do it. But then at the end of the day, I try to do things on a Christian level. But still, you can't touch my stuff and basically do that kind of stuff at the end of the day. But you have to pay for it some way. I try to soften the blow. Anybody else would have had your head on a platter by now. I mean, literally would have had your head sitting on a platter right now. Me, I'm a little different. I try to be patient with people. So they're saying that I can take you to something called, and I got the evidence to take you to civil court if I want to choose to, but I try to soften the blow. It's still going to cost you a lot of money. You're still going to have to pay me a great deal of money. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to something called CCB. This is basically a court for small claims. You'll have to pay me $30,000 per offense, which means you used the claim 3 times. That's $90,000 is what you're going to have to pay me. If you choose to ignore it, you don't show up for court, you automatic forfeit. That means that automatically I win automatically. Either way, I'm going to win. It doesn't make a difference. If you don't show up, I win. If you do show up, I'm going to win, because I have hardcore evidence of you using my copyright without my permission. Never gave you permission to do so. Wix, on the other hand, we gave them 3 letters we sent over to them, and those letters we also provided with them, letting them know that, look, this happened on your platform. You have rules and regulations on your platform that says you do not tolerate copyrights. people copyright infringements, and you do have a penalty of removing these accounts. If the account is still standing, they will file a lawsuit against you also. So they're well aware of what can happen to them. So this right here shows you, and that's why he needs to crack books at the end of the day. Jaime made the biggest mistake of thinking that he could touch that piece of artwork due to the fact that we don't use it anymore. Doesn't make a difference on use it anymore. I don't have to ever use it ever again. The fact that I have a copyright sitting on top of it means you can't touch it, you can't display it, you can't do anything with it unless you get permission from me that says, okay, yeah, you can use it, you can display this on your website, you can display this here and there. You got to get permission from me. And the fact that you have right there over top where you're stating my logo, which that was one of the pieces he removed off the messaging because he knew this would get him in trouble even more. We have that already. That's already been submitted to Wix. Wix knows exactly where it came from. We need to keep Wix within the loophole. So when we take them to court, if it comes to that point, the courts will fully know that we did contact them. We did let them know everything that was going on, and they were fully aware of the situation before we filed a class action lawsuit against them. They are fully aware. We've already told them up from the door, this is going to happen if the account's not removed. Jaime, on the other hand, this is your problem. Now, keep in mind, two parties get involved in this. First will be us, we're the lawsuit. Second is the government. They have to get involved in this because this is a violation on their policy and the paperwork we filed with the government in order to protect us. Their rules are a little different. They do have that whopping $150,000 to $250,000 fine and a couple years in jail. Can you go to jail for the CCB, which is basically a form of what do you call it? Small claims court for copyrights? Yes, you can. You can go to jail for that. Depends on how many offenses that you have, and like I said, it's per label. So if I take Coca-Cola and I display them 4 or 5 times, I get hit with every time I display them. That's $30,000 a pop. Now for them, it's a little different. Like I said, they prosecute. It could be $250,000 to $150,000 per copyright offense. This is extremely very serious. He got himself in a lot of trouble. All right, so I'm going in tonight to fill these documents out. They'll be done. All that information is going to be submitted to my attorney once that's done because they're advising me to do. And then from there, they get ready to take it before the courts. So there's enough information there to file if we go to court, which there is more than enough information because we do have a copyright that's registered. And then from there, basically, we get ready to get a court date ready, and then they'll go serve him. We have your address, so expect someone to knock at your door to serve you. So that's going to happen. If you decide you're going to ignore it, doesn't make a difference. You still got to pay me. Now, like I said, any court case that we have, we can choose to liquidate right there on the spot, which I'm choosing to do. I'm going to choose to execute judgment right there on the spot for the $90,000. What the U.S. government does after that, that is their business. We got nothing to do with that. All they know, bottom line, is that this paperwork was violated, the copyright was violated, and they have to go in and take their part. FBI gets involved in that. That's not police. So that's why he needs to read up on all this, what's going to happen to him. Now, somebody can easily say, well, he touched it, but he didn't. No, you can't touch it. That's the whole point of someone, their artwork. You cannot touch it. You cannot display it. You can't do any of that, period. You have to get permission from them in order to do so. Now, that's why we filed for the cease and desist, or desist and cease, or whatever that thing is called, because just in case, if he decides to go on, we go into court. When we go to court, if he tries to go before the judge and say, hey, look, I never heard about this, and I don't remember this, that's not going to help you at all, period, because we got a history going on that one. But this is my first time. I wasn't aware. That's why we sent out the cease and desist order, assistant order, whatever it's called, because within that, we had that attorney that drew up those paperwork and filed them and sent them over to Jaime. And that paperwork says copyrights. Don't touch your copyrights. Don't touch this. Don't touch that. And blah, blah, blah. So this is stuff he wasn't supposed to touch. And it shows he was fully aware that this was going to happen to him. So that's out the window. So you're just going to have to pay that money. And this is what's going to happen to you, buddy boy. It's not going to be nice. I told you that usually I turn the cheek on stuff like this. I let it go. Because, again, I think at the end of the day, you might be a little slow. But this I have to pull forward on. You touch something that, and the thing about it, Jaime, what makes this, it's going to hurt you. It's going to sting even harder. you got caught red-handed. You used your website, and I tell people at the end of the day, don't use your website for criminal activity. He used his website to commit this. You do know that you're ready when you register through Wix, because I've done it myself. You have to register Wix. I have 3 sites. You have to put all your detailed information into that site. They can subpoena the site. They can go in and get that information from them, because there's going to be an investigation going on now. They dig you up one way or another. They're going to come get you. Last thing you want is to sit there and have your head on a swivel. You never know when somebody's going to pop up in a black van to go serve you, or some bail bond's going to come after you. You don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be pretty bad. Now, let's see here what we got here. Also, too, we looked up this. This is called invasion of privacy. You know what invasion of privacy is? That's where you take someone's photos and you basically tamper with them like Partey did. Can't do that. That's another serious crime. Told you, all you guys are going to be, at the end of this year, either going to be broke or in jail with me, one or the other. Yeah, we got another charge coming up for Partey. I have to hire an investigator to track his whereabouts. It shouldn't be hard to do. We'll go through his website first. Get your personal information off of it. So this is what he's going to have to deal with right here. Under the CCB. CCB is $30,000 for each one. And it can increase up to $150,000 for each. Depends on how it goes. Now, mind you, we got you on your website. We got you, we're talking and communicating with you. You were talking to the author, which is me, which I explained to them. Yeah, he was talking directly to me, the person who basically designed the cube and register it. And basically, this is a recording, which I submitted to them. This is a recording showing the conversation back and forth. I explained to him. I sent a picture, link of my my copyrights, and he just went on claiming it was his end of the day. And I said, well, it's more than enough information right there. You know, a lot of people ask you at the end of the day, are you slow? A lot of people ask that. But that's what's going to go on right from there. Now, mind you, that's going to be $90,000. There's an additional $10,000 and small claims court up here for the batch number nonsense you caused. And if we could dig up anything else, we'll bring in the court for that too. Might as well. Okay. So let me get over here. And begin filing the rest of this right here, which is going to be open and shut. I swear, like I said, my attorneys can't wait to meet you. They can't wait to meet you. They do think at the end of the day, you may have some mental problem, you might be a little slow. Who could be that stupid? But then again, there are people out there that dumb. Well, best I can say for him is get yourself a really good attorney. You're not going to win, so I'm going to tell you that right from the door. So I would just advise you skipping the attorney. Don't bother with a plea bargain because we don't want one. Best you can do is basically just take the hit. That's what you're going to have to do. Mind you, once I sit there and I liquidate that judgment right there on the spot, your banking account's going to get frozen. Anything you have, any access you have is locked. That's why we're doing it. So make sure you got some money in your pocket because you can't go to the banking account. That's going to be locked down. Everything will be locked down. And until I get my 90 grand or whatever they're going to give me at the end of the day, if I actually want to execute judgment on the spot or liquidate on the spot, they will be coming to your property to collect. So you know that. I know this from the door because I sued a few people, and in the process of suing a few people, instead of me waiting for them to get my money, I liquidated it right there on the spot. People understand you could do that right on the spot. Execute judgment on a property that fast, and they'll have to do it that quick because we want judgment. Some people will let people wait a while and see if they can pay it up. I'm not doing that. So I am going to request that they freeze your banking accounts, whatever they got to do, drain your accounts, whatever they got to do, give me back my money. And mind you, the longer it takes you to pay back this money, it's going to grow with interest, which means you're going to have a massive lien laying against you, and every year they're going to add more money to it. That's what's going to happen. Now, anybody else feel the need to touch my stuff? Go ahead. And you'll end up broke and homeless when I get done with you. That's why I advise you, keep your fingers to yourself at the end of the day. So let's see. All right, let me get ready to start my paperwork so I can get this done, get this filed. and get this ready so we can get this thing going. I want to have this thing done. I know we're in the middle of the year. We want to be in the middle of the year with this mess. I want to at least have it done. Let's see how long it's going to take. I'll talk to the attorneys and see how long this is going to take. Or we can process this thing as fast as possible because I want this thing out of the way and I got things to do. All right, Jamie. I'll see you in court soon. Y'all have a good one.